Welcome, party people, to the Western Conference Finals. The site of tonight's matchup, Game 1 between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers, is Ball Arena. It is a beautiful sunny day in the Mile High City. A great day for some Mile High basketball. Scott Hastings, Katie Wingy, getting you ready for this Game 1 matchup on this Nuggets Live presented by UC Health. Scott Hastings, Game 1.
Katie Wingy.
How are we feeling?
I feel good. I think this is the biggest game they've played all year up to this point.
Couldn't agree more.
I think if you could find a way to win this game, I think the Lakers are going to bring their very best tonight in this series. And it's not like they're going to be really good the whole series, but they're on 3-day rest too. So, and LeBron James is breaking all Father Time's records, right?
Yeah.
But he's still got 20 years of playing on those legs. I mean, he's got, I don't know how many, 184 playoff games and then another 1,100 or 1,200 games. So they're going to be rested tonight. So if you could take their best and find a way to win tonight's game, just like I predicted in that Phoenix, I think you can win this thing in 5 or 6, to be honest with you.
And you talked about this throughout the entire Nuggets playoff run. You win your home games, you advance.
Yeah, win your home games, you're going to play either, Boston or Miami.
You advance to the finals. And with that in mind, this Laker team has not had home court advantage. And they've gone in to both of their first 2 matchups, Memphis and Golden State, and they've taken Game 1 because they knew that would give them an advantage back.
And the games they were the most rested going into also. So that you got to keep in mind. The thing for me, and everybody said, well, they're a 7 seed. Okay. It's LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Come on. First of all, 2 Hall of Famers. Rob Pelinka, I thought for the first time in his career there in L.A., became a real live general manager because he kind of created a mess, but he got him out of the mess. And when the pieces they added to this team made them really good. Now, they only had a half a season or a third of a season to play because AD and LeBron missed so many games. But don't sleep on these guys. These are NBA championship caliber team. And for Denver to win, they're going to have to play really good.
Nikola Jokic said that at practice yesterday, too, that this is a completely different Laker team than what the Nuggets have seen so far this season. They recognize it has different challenges that come along with it. Saw Anthony Davis warming up there, and he's been kind of up and down throughout this playoff run so far. But you have to imagine he's going to get up to go up against a player like Nikola Jokic. What are you expecting from AD?
I think like I said, I think tonight he's going to try to bring an A game and get 35 and 5 blocks, and he's going to be outstanding. He's an amazing guy. He really is. But he's had the luxury in the past, playoff past with Denver, that when he got to take a rest, then they brought in Dwight Howard to beat up on Nikola Jokic, and then they brought in JaVale McGee to beat up on Nikola. They don't have that big depth behind AD to handle Nikola Jokic. So, listen, now we'll see. Especially no one knows what they're going to do. But if it's going to be AD versus Joker, let's see what happens.
Okay, so tell me how you think the Nuggets will defend him. Who will be guarding him? How do you contest him in the post? Yesterday, some of the players were talking about him. He's basically a guard in a big body. Yeah,
and I think they'll try to do a little bit what they did with Durant when Durant got into pick and rolls. They're going to try to maybe cover the ball, especially if it's LeBron, try to take the ball in his hand, and then you got to bring help real early, and then you got to take a contested shot. The key, and even a couple of those baskets right there, even if you're a guard, you can't let him get by you and lay it up. You got to make every one of those shots, turnaround jump shots, fadeaway jump shots, floaters from 15 or 14 feet. Thank you.
Wow.
You got to figure a way to make every shot contested. You know what the scary thing is? What if this would have fit?
It does fit.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't know what to say to you right now.
Well, you know what? And I don't know what to respond with.
Yeah. All right, well, he's got his thinking cap on.
Hey, listen,
you got your thinking cap on. Let's go with that.
I wore my Maxi Minor 15 jersey today doing the radio show. So this is just an extension.
Thinking cap on for Scott
Dude,
Hastings.
I kind of like this now that I have it on. I used to make fun of him when I saw him. Where'd you get this thing? Did you buy this?
Did I buy it?
Or did you bring it from home?
I'm modeling it.
Oh, okay.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm a male model.
Yeah. I tell you what, this is hot too. Now my head's sweating. Oh, hold on. Anybody want any pictures?
He's got his hat on.
You want a picture? Got my hat on. You sure it's a cool hat? Well, that's a long time ago.
Yes, God. Thank you.
Guy came back because you like my shirt. It's a Sonic shirt.
You mentioned.
Hey, by the way, 8-1, we beat you. 8-1, we beat you. There it is. Keep that. That right there is a heck. Oh, man.
You mentioned LeBron James and him defying all the records, defying Father Time and all of that. Nuggets are obviously going to give him a lot of different looks. AG will probably be tasked with defending him. What do you do to slow down LeBron James?
You just got to play him. He doesn't have the quickness he once had, but he still has the strength. And so you got to be like Durant. You got to make him, because what he likes to do is drive that one sideline, bank into or bump into you, use that little bank shot, get and ones. You just got to keep him in front of you. He's a hit or miss shooter. When he's on, it's like he never decides to miss. But when he misses a handful, he'll miss a bunch. So you got to make, and it's the same thing. You got to make those guys prove that they can beat you on contested shot. Like, that's not contested by Curry. He's already shooting. That's not contested by Wiggins. He's already shooting. So you got to make him think every time he takes a jump shot. And I'll go back to Game 6 in Phoenix. You remember when there's a great play, and they did this a number of times. Booker, remember those games 3 and 4? He was getting in the middle of the paint. Wide open shots. Wow, I'm so happy. Wow. All of a sudden, Game 6. Wow, this guy stayed here. Now all of a sudden, Bruce Brown's coming from the side. Dudes are flying at him, and all of a sudden he goes 3 for 13. Yeah. You've got to have that kind of play at the shooters, and then one shot. Got to get the rebound.
Crazy LeBron James stat, too. 10-1 in conference finals. The last time he lost in a conference finals was 2009 against Orlando. But I want to pick your brain on this because it kind of transitions into this conversation. The Nuggets and Nuggets fans have a history of hate against the Lakers because they've never beaten the Lakers in the playoffs.
Well, they're 0-3 in Western Conference Finals, 0-7 overall in playoffs. And so, listen, hey, let's make it snake eyes tonight. It's a new team. This is what it's built for. It was built to try to win a championship. Again, I say protect home court. You're going to go to the NBA Finals. But I think you can get it done quicker if you win these first two. Remember, tonight's game's the first half, next game's second half. Win these two halves, go to L.A. up 2-0, and then we'll see. Because now you got to travel that, and the NBA is going to realize, wow, I thought Denver and L.A. were right beside each other. That's a 2.5 hour flight, isn't it? And they're going to see, and now all of a sudden you're going to have to leave after the game. They're going to get in late. You know, games are a little bit earlier. That's good. But now let's see LeBron playing back-to-back almost games and see if that'll eventually wear on him. And you got to be physical with him, too.
Yeah. Topic of conversation leading up to this Game 1, and really just with the Final Four teams in the NBA, it is a bubble rematch on both sides. Lakers, Nuggets, and then Heat and Celtics in the East. How different are these two teams, the Lakers and the Nuggets, facing each other this time around versus in the bubble?
Well, I said the biggest difference as far as stopping Denver is they don't have the depth of bigs that they had in the bubble. I mean, once again, not only have you AD to bang on Joker, and then when he comes out, here comes Dwight Howard. You remember that game. All they were trying to do is beat the snot out of him. And then when AD got in foul trouble or
and don't take that totally off the table in this.
Yeah, but they don't have.
True.
I mean, they don't have
Tristan
7-1,
Thompson,
7-1, 7-1
correct.
going against him. So, hey, listen. Darvin Ham said it best. What are you going to do to stop him? Well, I'm going to find out where he lives and kidnap him as he walks out the door. Everybody knows. The only people who don't know how great Nikola Jokic is the four-letter network and all the talking heads. They don't care. They don't watch games. But all the coaches and all the players I've talked to, we talked to a bunch. They're amazing. We had Dan Issel on today who basically said he's already the greatest Nugget that's ever played. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
As a Denver Nugget.
Yes. So
he's been amazing. I expect him to be amazing. And as we said in the other series, what do you do 4 through 8? I think they change the table and they can win the series for you.
Nikola Jokic in the playoffs is averaging 30 points, 13 rebounds, and just under 10 assists on 55% shooting.
Slacker.
Stat patter.
Get to 10. Yeah, stat patter. It's going to be interesting because now, do you start Vanderbilt? play him on Joker, let AD play underneath and start on Gordon? If so, then Joker's going to have 10-plus assists every night, and Gordon's going to be up around 18 points every night. That's good for you. If you play one-on-one, if it's Vanderbilt, you're in trouble. Obama, who's not even on the trip, but you're in trouble. And Anthony Davis, you're worried about foul trouble.
Yep.
So I'm telling you what, this is as good as a matchup Denver's had going into the finals, and you're still playing with one of the greatest players, or against one of the greatest players that's ever played, LeBron James. But this is your best opportunity you may have ever had in those previous 7 matchups.
All right, well, there's some really cool opportunities. The first 2 games of this series are here at Ball Arena, but for games 3 and 4, you can come down to Ball Arena and check out the games with the rest of Nuggets Nation. We'll have watch parties here at Ball Arena on Saturday and on Monday. The doors open 5:30 and 6:30. I went to the watch parties when the Avalanche were making their Stanley Cup playoff run, and it was so fun. It's so fun. The game is played on the Jumbotron. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's loud. It's a great time. You can get $10 tickets right now at nuggets.com, and the proceeds will benefit Kroenke Sports Charity. So it's all going to a great cause. All of the in-game entertainment folks will be there. Rocky, dancers, drumline. So a really cool in-game experience. Just watching the game on the Jumbotron.
And a chance to watch Mark Jackson.
What? Yeah. Swerve. Let's talk about Jamal Murray, because there have been some questions about whether he's available to go tonight. He's questionable coming into tonight's game. He was questionable going into Game 6 in Phoenix as well with that non-COVID illness. He is still not feeling 100%, but I can't imagine Jamal Murray not playing in this game.
He said it after Game 6. He said he knew there was no way he's going to miss it. I don't see he's going to miss this either. I think Jamal played his best game in Game 6, and to be honest with you, I think one of the reasons he probably didn't feel as well as he wanted to, and so he played more under control. In games, especially 3 and 4, I think you could talk about Murray's bad shots, tough shots, and there's probably 5 or 6 a game. I don't know if he had a tough shot in that Phoenix closer, right, in Game 6. I think he played under control. And he still got 24, 6 and 8 or whatever it was. That's the Murray that's going to beat the Lakers, in my opinion. If he's out there trying to just do it by himself, they can get themselves in trouble. And you know, it also is going to be one of the first games probably, unless he starts going off, you ain't going to have some dude weighing 230 banging on him and wrestling him the whole time up and down the floor. I think you'll have more of a standard matchup. Let's play this game.
Well, Jamal Murray throughout the playoffs so far is very close to shooting 50, 40, 90. And his numbers have been very efficient, 26, 5, and 7. So he's been finding ways to help his team win basketball games, whether it's scoring, playmaking, or whatever else he needs to do, finding rebounds and making sure they're running at a good pace.
His turnovers have been down,
yes,
especially the last couple of games, too. So I think that's a monster also. Listen, you expect in a playoff game, in a series this big, the stars are going to be the stars. And I expect Jamal Murray, sick or not sick. In fact, he may be better sick. He might be like Michael Kobe.
Jordan flu game,
He just plays better.
The flu arrow.
I think the stars will be stars. And then, who else steps up? Remember, Bruce Brown in Game 5, KCP in Game 6. Who can be those other guys that kind of step in and I think lift you over the top?
Let's talk about those other guys, and specifically KCP, because KCP was on the Lakers when they won that championship in the bubble. LeBron James, very complimentary of who KCP is yesterday at practice when he talked about him. Just one of the best things about KCP is his availability, according to LeBron. He's on the court every single night and is showing up for his team. He was massive for the Nuggets in that last round, a couple games where he made some really big shots. How valuable is it going to be to have him on the Nuggets side this time around?
I think it's monster. I thought he watched Bruce Brown in Game 5 and said, hey, I can get to the basket too, and he decided to do that in Game 6. These are layups. Now he makes a 3. And you know this, there's something about the psychology of a basketball player when you see the ball go in, whether it's the free throw line or a bunch of layups, all of a sudden that first jump shot, you ain't even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Man, I got this rolling, bam, 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 and you knock it down. He was a difference maker in that bubble finals. I know it was 4-1. Should have been 2-1 Denver. AD hits that big 3 when the bad switch and all that. But he was a guy when you tried to double LeBron or you tried to double AD that they would kick out, and he had big shot after big shot in that series.
Well, and now he's on the other side. and hopefully he can hit big shot and big shot and play the solid defense that he's been playing.
Story today. We talked to John Ireland, who does the radio play-by-play for LA. You know who he's impressed with from our others that he thinks is a killer? Christian Brown. And really, what's his highest game? Like 5 points so far in the playoffs?
Yeah, but his presence has been so impactful.
Yes. So this other team already knows him. Hey, when you got, and he said, which I think you and I said on one of these pre-games, man, the more he plays, it seems like the better he gets and the better you guys are. Well, the games that he played 20-plus minutes, they were winning in that last series.
Yeah.
Look for him to be another factor.
Another factor. X factor for the Nuggets. Who's yours?
Michael.
Me too.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
He finally got it, I thought, in games 5 and 6 that I could use Devin Booker. And they were using Devin Booker on him to rest. Because Booker can't play no defense. You know, he's a guy, you've seen this. They play defense like this. But they don't really do anything. You go right by it, right? And Michael realized that. And I thought he just took it right at him. And I think one of the reasons also Booker did nothing in that game 6, because all of a sudden the guy he's guarding's killing it.
Yep.
Getting layups, getting dunks, getting, free throws, whatever. And made his shots. And the same thing. Got a couple layups, all of a sudden them threes looked pretty good too, didn't they? So I think, listen, if Jamal, Joker, and Michael all play up to their potential, Denver can win this thing at 5. If you got to drag one of the two along and there's some struggle moments, then you're going to have to find other people really step up. Bruce Brown 25, KCP 24, something like that to happen to win the series.
Michael Porter Jr., 24 years old. When he scores 24 or more points this season for the Denver Nuggets, 10-0. This team is.
Well, I hope he averages 24 and a half in this
24
series.
and a half. That's what we're going
24 and a half in this series, and we'll be golden.
Okay, there's been a lot of conversation around physicality and I don't want to get too far into this because we haven't even played a game yet, but the officiating and the way the Lakers get to the free throw line, the fouls that are called, it obviously is a concern for the Denver Nuggets. So how do you defend without fouling? Because you need your stars to be on the floor.
I don't know. I'm the wrong guy.
Don't sound so defeated. Come on. I need a strategy here. Give me something.
I'm the wrong guy to ask about fouling and officials.
Well, you have to adjust. So how do they adjust?
You got to keep showing your body. You got to keep showing your hands, and you got to have constant conversations with. Listen, if they're leading to me and my hands are up and their shoulder hits my chest, how is that a foul on me? They're creating the contact. And I thought it got better as the series went on against Phoenix. But it was bad when even Steve Kerr, who's gotten every call in the world over the last 8-9 years for Golden State, he was complaining about it. They shot in a 7-game series, I think it was almost 80 more free throws than Golden State. Almost doubled them up. So, yeah, it's a concern. But you know what? Even though I hate to admit it, there ain't been an official when you've argued a call ever changed his mind. So don't let it frustrate you. Don't let officials take it out. No going in. AD's probably going to get a couple cheapies. LeBron's going to get a whole bunch of cheapies. Play. Just make sure that Schroeder's not shooting 10 free throws, or Reeves is not shooting 10 free throws, or anything.
Yep.
Now, if you want Vanderbilt to shoot 10 free throws, let Vanderbilt shoot 10 free throws. We'll take that.
Well, I just would say, too, if you're one of the players that needs to play for the Denver Nuggets, you have to adjust in game. You have to be smart because the Nuggets need their stars out on the floor. Got to limit the foul trouble because the Lakers are going to draw them. The Nuggets have to be smart in terms of the way that they're defending. All right, that's going to do it for our YouTube Live presented by UC Health. Don't worry, though. This is just the beginning of the coverage. On Altitude TV in just a couple minutes, Nuggets courtside will be beginning. We have an hour-long pregame show previewing this Game 1 matchup of the Western Conference Finals, so be sure to tune in there. And then after the game, we have an hour-long, maybe longer,
at least
locker room report. Player interviews, coach interviews, everything you could possibly want talking about this Game 1, which hopefully will end in a Nuggets win. Thanks for joining us on this YouTube Live presented by UC Health. Turn on your TVs to Altitude right now and go Nuggets.